You're listening to DraftKings Network.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Skims, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing, but an often overlooked secret is the businesses behind the business making selling simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret, with Shop Pay, that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less cards going abandoned and way more sales going... So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Skim uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Batard. All lowercase, BATARD. Go to shopify.com/Batard to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Batard.
Jess,
Lucy,
we're here.
we're back.
In person. We got a new little graphic.
Wow, look at the LED screen.
Things are looking great for the audio audience. It looks like it was painted by Picasso himself. It is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Now they're going to think it's like cubism, and it's not.
It's not. I just went with the first artist off the
Although
top
maybe
of my
technically
head.
it is because it's like little square pixels.
Yeah, I think that works.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Gen CFB. Lucy, Jennifer College Football.
Oh, I love
We're
Jennifer.
back for another week. And
J-Lo
we're
CFB.
so happy to be back.
We are back. We're like J-Lo and Ben Affleck because we're kind of back.
We kind of are holding hands and kissing, and people are watching, and they're like, what's that about?
Oh, God, they're going to start yelling.
Oh, no. Oh, God. I didn't mean it like that. We're here, and we're brought to you by Cheez-It.
This college football season, we're feeling the cheesiest with Cheez-Its. I'm sure they're really happy that they changed that intro. I'm sure they're like, yeah, that's worth the money.
You could say, "Ope," and try it again.
Oh, let me squeeze right past you there.
That's a little teaser, Lucy, because today we're gonna, instead of going game by game through last weekend, we're gonna nominate a few candidates for the new Gen CFB award called the Ope of the Week.
Ope?
What is Ope for people that maybe aren't from the Midwest?
Ope is like the Midwest version of like oops. I think oops is like the best word for it. I use it mostly in the let me squeeze right past you.
Like excuse me.
Like excuse me. Weird enough, I have a friend who's from the Dakotas, which I don't think technically counts as the Midwest. I think it's like Great Plains or whatever. They say oofta instead of ope, which is so weird.
That is.
My friend will be like oofta, and I'm like, girl, are you okay?
What's that? Yeah, that's. So I'm a big oper. I ope a lot. Like I'm constantly walking around the house hitting things, saying ope. Walking into stuff, ope. But ope can also be like, it can be like a whelp, like, ope, like, crap, ope.
It's really versatile.
It's extremely versatile.
Versatile or versatile?
I don't know. I didn't mean to like sound like I was correcting you.
It's all right. I live in the South again. My accent's.
So we've got like 20 nominees for Ope of the Week because this was an Ope-tastic week of college football. And to qualify for Ope of the Week, you have to have done something Ope-worthy and also have maybe some tangential tie to the Midwest.
Yeah.
You know, not a strong one, but spiritually maybe.
I can go with the first one.
Okay.
If you're ready for
yeah,
it.
give me an Ope.
This Ope, which does have a tie to the Midwest, because I was thinking, how does it? So Washington, Big Ten, Midwest
yes.
school, played in the Apple Cup this week. Rivalry week still living on for our fallen Pac-2. So Washington had a chance to win at the end of the game. This game was played in Seattle, but not at the University of Washington. This was a Seahawks game. And they had one of just like the most like buffoonish, like what type of play call were you doing there? Where they ran a short side option from the 1 yard line. If we could play it again, it's absolutely bad. Crazy because they didn't block for it. They just weren't prepared. And Washington, a lot of turnover from last year's coaching staff. They got all these NFL big brains, and this is what they came up with, to the point where it was so bad that Washington State after the game was like, yeah, we don't know why they did that.
You can see the exact moment the quarterback in his head probably said "ope" because it's like the blocking wasn't great, but also this is why when you run to the short side, it's not always a great option because you run out of space and they just like the the play was over before it even really got anywhere. They didn't even make it past the line of scrimmage a little bit. I think it was a loss of 1 yard. And that was, like you said, coming out of a timeout to win the game. Ooh.
That's a big oath from Steve Belichick.
Yes, but I think I have one that beats that, perhaps. Okay. Illinois' quarterback, Luke Altmaier, playing against Central Michigan this weekend. He threw a pass. It sort of like ricocheted off of a person in front of him, and then he caught it right there, runs forward, and then slams headfirst into the ass of the referee, takes the referee out, falls to the ground. What a play. I can just imagine sliding into that ref's ass. Right there.
That was the most proud Bert Bielema has ever been in his entire life. We love you, Bert.
And they've got a big game coming up, which we will preview later, Lucy. But that's not all we have in terms of big opes.
We have so many opes.
We've got a lot of opes.
I don't know what the Midwest connection to this one is. We'll have to do the math to figure it out. But so Cal, our beloved Golden Bears, who are just transforming the college football internet space.
I love them. I'm one of them now.
Oh, they're awesome.
Yes.
I'm like... AI graphics are always hit or miss for me. Cal has completely turned the table. They're so good.
We're burning down rainforest for a graphic of a bear holding a suitcase that says DEI agenda, and they're walking into Doak Campbell and they're renaming it Woke Campbell Stadium, and I love it.
I think it's worth it. But this weekend Cal played San Diego State, and the Cal fans are enthusiastic after a good start to the season, beating Auburn, and they were throwing cards onto the field, so Justin Wilcox had to take the ref's mic, his little loft mic, and be like, hey, and we'll play the clip so you can hear it, because I'm not going to sound good.
Cal fans, we love you. Stop throwing the cards on the field. That's 2 15-yard penalties. Please stop throwing the cards on the field.
Maybe the Midwest
I think he
is him saying I love you.
Oh, that's cute.
That's a very Midwest of I love you.
Yeah.
Stop doing that.
You guys, act like we've been here before. He used to be the defensive coordinator at Wisconsin, a while ago, Justin Wilcox. So I think, spiritually, yes. You've spent a year in Madison. You are Midwestern now.
I spent a week there, and I'm so Midwestern. Not even a week, a weekend.
We will discuss. Madison, great college town. Lots of fun.
Love it.
Not a great college football team this season, but we'll get there. Justin Wilcox, an Ope of the Week nominee. Cal fans, you can't throw stuff on the field. I know the cards, you're holding them and you're like, what do I do with this? But you can't throw it on the field. But hey, shout out to your head coach for just getting in there and being like, I love you guys. Please stop.
I feel like if anyone should be allowed to throw cards on the field, it's Cal fans. But that's my team.
Okay.
Don't let me make the rules.
You know what? Fair. Pat Narduzzi. Wow, what a guy.
Love him.
He is off to a crazy start this year with Pitt. Pitt won the Backyard Brawl, another great rivalry game in college football. Always a little weird when it's not on Thanksgiving, but that's okay. They were down, Lucy, 10 points with 4 minutes to go against West Virginia at home. And wow, they somehow won that thing. Eli Holstein, the Pitt quarterback, is pretty good. And it seems like Pat Narduzzi accidentally got a really, really good quarterback and has an offense that's capable of scoring a lot of touchdowns, which is something that it doesn't seem like he likes.
Oh,
but
he's
then
not happy
He's
about
not happy about it, but he's stuck with it. And so this is the second week in a row where Pitt's had an insane come-from-behind victory. Last week it was Cincinnati. This week, West Virginia, their big rival. And after the game, he was really pissed off about a missed OPI call that gave West Virginia a touchdown. He was really mad about a late hit call. And he said post-game this to the sideline reporter.
I mean, some of the calls we got, late hit out of bounds, they catch a ball with the hands in the face, and I've never seen anything like it. Wow. We beat West Virginia in the Backyard Brawl, and we beat the officials too in one game.
He got fined $5,000 for that comment.
Seems kind of low. Quick note on that game. Every time when I was watching Garrett Green, West Virginia's quarterback, I feel like he is the most just perfect metaphor for West Virginia football. I see him and I see a couch on fire. You don't know it. I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but he plays like a couch on fire.
Yes, and Narduzzi obviously spent time as a coordinator in the Big Ten and at, I think, Northern Illinois. Shout out to the Huskies.
Michigan State.
So spiritually Midwest as well. But you can't talk about the officiating. You're going to get fined, and $5,000 now go into the pockets of, I guess, the conference, right? The ACC gets to keep that. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but they have it now. Who else are we nominating for Ope of the Week?
All right, so we are going to do Mike Norvell. He's had a really tough
Do we feel bad for Mike Norvell and Florida State?
Let me look up his salary and then I'll tell you if I feel bad.
Okay, I'm starting to kind of feel bad. Florida State's
Nope,
0
don't
and
feel
3.
bad.
There's like I don't know. There's a legit chance that they will beat my team later in the season, so I shouldn't throw a pity party yet. I still may end up hating them. But yeah, I feel a little bad for DJ Uyunglele. I mean, it's rough watching them. They lost to Memphis this weekend. Mike Norvell's old team that he used to coach for before he came to Florida State to replace Willie Taggart. And man, it was just a really tough offensive performance from Florida State. And then this happened during his press conference.
As we continue to work and continue to pour into each other and the opportunity we have.
All right, thank you.
You are to leave the building by the nearest exit or exit stairway.
That's a fire alarm going off in the background.
Another metaphor if I've seen one. That is just perfect timing. Yeah, I don't feel bad. I do feel bad for DJ. I always feel bad for college kids who have,
Yeah, a tough
shitty,
time.
Games and
I feel
tough
bad.
fan bases to really please. But Mike Norvell, nah.
Yeah.
You just got an extension, brother. I don't feel that bad.
Fair enough. You're right. I feel bad because I see a lot of like really mean like tweets and like memes and stuff about like players, and I'm like, like that just, it's the coaches. Let's be mean to the coaches.
I agree 100%. Unless those players go to the University of Iowa and you're doing a bad job, then okay.
Care to go on?
No, I have no one I'm referencing in particular.
Okay. Another big ope. The collective student section at South Carolina LSU all did a big ope at the same time as their field goal kicker missed a long field goal to tie the game against LSU at home. Lucy, show us how the surrender cobra is done. Ooh.
Done this many a times before.
Yeah.
Not my first surrender.
It's hard to say.
Really hard.
Surrender cobra.
Surrender cobra. Yeah. Look, it's a part of life. You just got to surrender. You have to surrender cobra
before the cobra surrenders
I
you.
said it right.
It's like you're Arnold Palmer.
I'm gonna drink an Arnold Palmer while doing a surrender cobra.
This was
Surrender.
some controversial calls in this game, Lucy. South Carolina was up 17-0, gave up a big lead to LSU. I think LSU outscored them like 36-16 after that or something. LSU kind of just hung in there and didn't really quit. And South Carolina had a couple really, really great plays. One of them got called back because of the
weird hit.
It was like a blindside block on the quarterback after Nussmeier threw an interception that was going to be a pick six. And I've read every argument about whether or not this penalty should have been called. I'm sort of on the fence about it, but I guess the end result is don't let the refs get to decide that, and don't do it.
My thing
they're going
with
to call it
is technically, yeah, that's a blindside block for sure. I would say most pick sixes you see that, and that's normally not called. But that's. You're right. You can't let the refs decide. Also, South Carolina lost their quarterback in this game. That was a big issue. So, did I say quarterback weird?
No, Taylor said something funny in my headset that I giggled at.
I thought I said quarterback weird.
You might have.
I'm really nervous about my ability to speak.
That was brutal, though, for South Carolina. I did feel bad. They had the block punt. Beamer ball was Beamer balling. It was a fun game. It was their first time on game day in 10 years. And then they missed the kick. Play for a long field goal at the end. Goal at the end. Wow, I'm doing it too now. Long field goal at the end, and Brian Kelly comes out with a win somehow. And I don't know if LSU was good. I don't know if South Carolina's good, but it was a fun game. It was just really, really long.
4 hours, because I was in Madison, same game slot, and I was able to watch the end of that game in my hotel room.
Yeah. That's
25
crazy.
minutes away from the stadium. I may have left a little bit early, but
I was gonna say the Wisconsin-Alabama game also ended pretty early. I would say the first drive.
I would say it ended before it started.
Ope worthy for sure, though, when the whole student section is saying Ope and putting their arms up in the surrender cobra. Some of those students probably from the Midwest, so it counts. Moving on, Kentucky, they gave it away against Georgia this past weekend. I would say the big open this one was Mark Stoops deciding to punt in plus territory when you've got the number one team in the country on the ropes. and they haven't played well the whole game. Their offense could barely move the ball. Kentucky did a very good job too, I should say, in stopping them and sort of shutting them down. But dude, you're punting, really? Like, come on. That was a big ope.
Look,
Made me
Mark
sad.
Stoops may have got his coaching start at the University of Iowa. He may have actually played football there and started as a GA there. And sometimes you just can't get rid of learned behavior. So would I have made that call? Absolutely not. But you are who you are, and you're an Iowa man, Mark.
Oh.
Hate to tell you.
It seems like everyone in the world has some sort of connection to the Midwest, Lucy.
I do. Oh my God, I didn't even do the math of that. We're doing the middle. It's been a really long day.
I love that for you. I thought you were like purposely doing a thing. I'm like,
No,
good. Yes,
I
she's
didn't.
fine.
I didn't get it.
She's following. This is great.
Never do. I had a lot of fun in Madison.
Oh my God. Well, we'll get to that.
So many brain cells.
We have like 17 more Ope of the Week nominees and we're like running out of time. But God, there were so many things. Okay, really, really quickly. This one, I don't even know if this counts as an Ope, but it should. Colorado State talked so much about Colorado before this game. They said that, quote, we should have murdered them. They came out with that attitude and they were on top of the world and this isn't a Cinderella story. We're coming for revenge. And then their quarterback said, I think it goes to show the hype the media train. It only gets you so far. At the end of the day, you have to line up 11 guys against our 11 guys and we'll find out who wants it. We'll see how far Instagram followers get them. And then, Lucy, what happened in this game?
They lost. They lost bad.
Was it even close at any point?
Not close at all. And then Colorado returned the talk and people are like unprofessional. And I said, you know what? One, I'm all for shit talk in any situation. But let me say that if someone came out and said we should have murdered you, probably not a nice thing to say, and then you beat the hell out of them, I believe you've earned the right.
I agree. That's not a nice thing to say. And also, yes, if you're going to talk that much before a game and then you lose by that many points and also like never really like do anything that made me like, oh, like I didn't do the meme where you like sit forward in your seat, you know? It was just sort of blah from them. And
it wasn't fun. That game was not enjoyable at all.
The quarterback did it too small to Travis Hunter, one of the best players, maybe the best player in college football, definitely the best player in that game, after like a 1 yard gain. You can't do that. Come on, guys. What are we doing? That
was Colorado State, like crazy how much that team talked for being not good.
So do you want to pick one and I'll pick one? Who wins?
Okay.
Who wins Ope of the Week?
My Ope of the Week, I think I'm going to go, let me see. Actually, can I do one we didn't mention?
Yeah. Oh my God. Ooh, a surprise.
I would like us to queue up the Tulane point after attempt.
Oh my
against
God.
Oklahoma.
This is a good one.
I don't know how to describe it. Okay, so point after attempt. It was under the crossbar.
Yes.
It went under the crossbar. The ref had to like squirm to avoid getting hit. And then like a student, like a woman standing in the back.
An Oklahoma fan like gets almost hit in the head.
She gets hit and then she's like pissed that she got hit. But
she's like, hey, come on.
But you didn't make it. I don't know if I've ever seen a worse point after attempt in my life. And I watched that on loop this weekend.
That was so that's your Ope of the Week?
That's my Ope of the Week.
That was a great nomination, great choice, great winner. I'm going with the Illinois quarterback.
That's a good one.
Because, man, if you can catch your own batted pass and then slide into a referee's ass, you should win something. And not only did they win the game, they won Ope of the Week. For me, at least.
Speaking of Illinois, big game this week.
Yes.
Fighting Illini. We're going to do a little Week 4 preview brought to you by Hampton Farms Peanuts. Get nutty with Hampton Farms Peanuts, the official snack nut of the tailgate.
Wow, and we have peanuts in studio. Not only are we in studio together, Lucy, we are with peanuts.
Can we trade? I want the Cajun ones.
I kind of, yeah. And these are salted?
Yeah, these are salted.
And I have some unsalted,
Here's
too.
a little peanut bag ASMR.
So not only do we have a new LED light, we have peanuts, and we are previewing Week 4 in college football. Before we start...
Great source of protein.
Really?
7 grams for 6 servings per container, about 1/4 cup without shells.
That sounds pretty good.
I am excited. And spicy.
Should we start with Illinois and Nebraska?
Yeah, weird ranked matchup we got going on here. There's not a ton of ranked matchups this weekend, but Illinois snuck into the polls, number 24. Nebraska is 22. It's a Friday night football game in the Big Ten.
that?
So we have Patrick Mahomes' doppelganger.
Do we have a video of Dylan Raiola we
I
can
don't
play
even know
right
the
now?
technical term.
So
Stalker feels kind of appropriate.
Lucy, he's doing like the Patrick Mahomes warm up thing.
Okay, he is doing the Patrick Mahomes warm up thing, along with wearing the same glasses, along with having the same hair, along with having the same facial hair,
Correct.
along with
How far is Lincoln from Kansas City? Like 3 hours?
yeah, it's not too
It's close,
it's
right?
Not too
So
far.
he's
And he's really good.
Yeah.
So like, if he were bad in doing this, I don't think it'd be allowed. But I'm not going to pretend it's not a little odd.
Yeah, well, I think there's just like people are accusing him of being like a copycat, and you want to be original, you want to be doing your own thing. But I don't mind it because, like you said, he's playing well so far, and this is probably going to be the biggest game so far of his young freshman career at Nebraska, playing against Illinois in the first ever Friday night game in Memorial Stadium, apparently, which is crazy. So I don't know, Lucy. I think I have Nebraska in this game because I think their defense is pretty good. But this is a game where I'm very curious how the quarterbacks are able to perform, because I also think Illinois' defense is pretty good. And Luke Altmaier's, he's done well so far this season. They haven't played like super stiff competition, but they did win the game against Kansas, even though we discussed it was more of a Kansas giveaway than a Illinois victory. But this one will be an interesting, I guess, Big Ten rivalry? Question mark?
I guess it's rest in peace to the Big Ten West, but it's a Big Ten West game, which like my brain is still trying to process that doesn't exist anymore. My thing with Illinois is we kind of put a lot of stock into them because of that Kansas win, and Kansas lost to UNLV this weekend. Shout out to the Rebs.
UNLV is electric.
3-0.
They had the crazy that was another OPE of the week we missed. The craziest fumble. Kansas just had to fall on this football and they couldn't do it.
Can't do it.
And then UNLV won after like a 9-minute drive. It was amazing.
So
there it is. I just oped. See, that was a natural one. Whoop. See, that guy could have fallen on it. That guy could have fallen on it. He tried to pick it up. Then he fell on it, but then it bounced away. And then that guy could have fallen on it. And then that guy, just
Tough.
bad.
Absolutely tough. But yeah, that goes to say that like we're still in a weird phase where like I don't think until about 2 weeks from now we're really going to have like a decent idea of who's good and who's not good, because like we still don't really know outside of the top teams and the bottom teams. So I think Nebraska is good though, and I think that night game in Memorial Stadium is just a brutal atmosphere for anybody to play in. I guess Illinois also plays in Memorial Stadium, but there's
a lot of Memorial
there's like a million
stadiums,
Memorial
yeah.
Stadiums. I just think that Nebraska's defense is really good, and Nebraska finally has a quarterback. So I think they're going to win, but I'm saying that Nebraska has not beaten a ranked team since Oregon in 2016, and Matt Rule is 2-19 against ranked teams as a head coach, which feels crazy low.
That is, yeah.
Is that right?
I don't know. I read it in The Athletic, so I think it's
they're
true.
usually right.
They have editors, I think.
They're usually right, yeah.
Yeah, the Nebraska offense, they're very young, but that may not be a bad thing. They may still score a lot of points, and I think if they can run the ball well, they will win this game. There's also a fun San Jose State at Washington State game, 10 o'clock on the CW. You can watch the beginnings of the Ken Niumatalolo era at San Jose State, Lucy. Both teams undefeated right now going into this one at Washington State. And then Saturday, we've got a lot of fun ones. We've got
You said fun, and the first on the list is Florida at Mississippi State.
Yeah.
And look, I love sicko football as much as the rest of us, but even I have standards and a limit,
Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, well, let's skip ahead to one that I think a lot of people are going to be tuning in to watch, the USC at Michigan game. That is the University of Southern California. They are 6-point favorites on the road in Ann Arbor. Michigan has announced that their former backup, Alex Orji, will be starting at quarterback over Davis Warren, who had a really rocky game against Arkansas State this past weekend, threw 3 interceptions, and then Alex Orji came in, had a nice drive. They ran the ball well. He ran the ball well, had a couple incompletions, but I guess Michigan decided their best chance to win this weekend with Orji, so he will be the starter in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, after watching bits of that Michigan-Arkansas State game, I was like, do you guys need to pass the ball? Like, Could you just go without ever passing the ball again? Which is actually not out of the scope for Michigan. They did that against Penn State last year. They did not pass the ball the entire time in the second half.
True.
This is going to be like kind of my true, I don't want to say if it's a true test because I don't have questions about the USC offense, and the USC defense has looked good. I just don't think Michigan's offense is going to challenge the USC defense. So I still don't necessarily know how good they are, but I feel like USC is probably going to win this one. But they're another team that I'm just like, how good are you?
Yeah. The thing with USC is if they're able to score a couple touchdowns here, it's going to be a lot like the Texas game where I don't think Michigan has the weapons on offense to be able to play keep up. So getting onto a big lead, I think, will be huge for USC to win it. And yeah, I do think Michigan's defense is good, and it seems like USC's defense has improved, but that still doesn't make it like they're not a top 10 unit.
Yeah, we just don't know how much. We don't know, like, based off the quality of competition, and like LSU, we talked about earlier, is still a big question mark. Like, we just don't know if that's a product of, hey, you've gotten better, or who you're playing.
Yeah.
Like, Utah State, not necessarily the toughest opponent in the world.
Well, had a tricky one last weekend. Moving on.
Shout out Spencer Petras. I love you, and I'm rooting for you.
Georgia Tech at Louisville. It feels like the world forgot about Louisville. It feels like we were like, oh, they played in the ACC championship game last year, and we just kind of forgot they existed. But they're ranked number 19 in the country, and this will be their first ACC test after they played Austin Peay and Jacksonville State to start the season, then had a bye week. Their transfer quarterback Tyler Shuck has played at a couple different schools already.
Yeah, Texas Tech guy.
Yeah, Texas Tech, and then Oregon, I want to say.
I think he went Oregon Tech.
Yeah, Oregon, Texas Tech, and then
Tech,
Louisville. And former UNC commit. Thank you, Taylor. Everyone was dying to know that. But he's thrown 600 yards and 6 touchdowns through 2 games. And Georgia Tech, 3-1. They played VMI last weekend. Lucy, I will give you $10 if you could guess what VMI is, because I had to look this up.
It's the Virginia Military Institute.
Like, what?
Well, yeah, it's a very... Wait, $10?
Screw it. I'll give you $10. I thought that was a weird one, but I guess not for you. You know everything, my friend.
Look, I'm sorry I support the troops of this great nation.
So we've got 2 other games this weekend we'll briefly chat about. Utah at Oklahoma State, the big one. This is a big one. I think this is you kind of know what you're going to get with these Utah teams. Really fun, aggressive defense. I'm not sure how well the offense is going to perform with their quarterback situation that we still don't have a definitive answer on at the time of recording this, Lucy. But Oklahoma State, they've got to get their run game going. They got to get Ollie Gordon to run the ball. Who do you have in this one?
I think I'm going to go Oklahoma State because it's in Stillwater right now. Big 12 is weirdly very wide open, where like UCF is competing. Kansas State.
Crazy game last weekend.
Kansas State looked great against Arizona. I just think that there's so much question around Cam Rising, which I guess in the sense there's always question about Cam Rising. He's been hurt the last 12 years. But I think I'm going to take Oklahoma State here. Ollie Gordon is arguably one of the best running back in college football. So
gotta get him going.
But yeah, Oklahoma State's a little weird because they lost or they beat Arkansas in a game that Arkansas lost. Not that Oklahoma State won. Arkansas woo-pigged Suey the hell out of that game. But beating South Dakota State's pretty impressive. South Dakota State's pretty impressive. It's a weird one. I'm taking Oklahoma State because it's at home, and that's the only reason I'm taking it.
Yeah, I think I'll take Utah just because I'm a slight favorite, and I think that they're always pretty solid. Okay, big game, Tennessee, Oklahoma, the number 6 team in the country, visiting the number 15 Oklahoma Sooners, 7:30 on ABC. Oklahoma's got a good defense. Brent Venables, that guy knows what he's doing on the defensive side of the ball. Tennessee, all around pretty good. Like, their defense has been good. Their offense has been good. They're a 7-point favorite in this game. I think Tennessee will win this one. I don't think it'll be, I don't know if you remember the Baker Mayfield, Josh Dobbs showdown, Tennessee, Oklahoma, that Oklahoma won. And I think it was like 2 overtimes, whatever that was, 2015. Yeah, I don't think that'll happen this time. I think Tennessee will win this one in regulation.
Yeah, I think Tennessee's going to win for a couple of reasons. One, I'm going to the game. And
I
am 0-3 for the home team.
Okay, so yeah, Tennessee for sure.
Are going Tennessee's
the Lucy
favor.
curse.
I saw this stat this morning that kind of blew my mind about Oklahoma. There are only 3 Power 4 teams that have gone 3 and out on 40% or more of their possessions this season, and Oklahoma is on that list. They have gone 3 and out 41% of the time. Tennessee Tennessee's defense is not like the Tennessee defense of the past where you just kind of expect it to be like a cakewalk against them. They're very, very good. And as good as Oklahoma's offense is, if you cannot score points, if you cannot move the ball, you will not win, especially against Tennessee, a team that will, like, even if Oklahoma's defense is able to stop Tennessee, you're not going to hold the ball enough, like, long enough to give your defense a break and some rest, and that Tennessee offense will just wear you down. So I kind of see this game being close for a half and then Tennessee pulling away.
Yeah, Oklahoma's struggled a little bit on offense. Their passing game is a little bit of a question. They haven't had a 200-yard game yet against Temple, Houston, and Tulane. Temple and Houston, two programs struggling heavily. Tulane, pretty good. But yeah, I think you're right. I think I have some question marks there. And I think that's it for us today on Jennifer College Football. If you like the show, tell your friends about it. We'll be back next week. Lucy, it was fun having you in the studio.
It's nice to be back.
We miss you, but I'm happy that you're free.
My dad's not sick. Please stop asking. It's really weird that you think that's your business. Stop asking.